The sunfish, also known as the mola, is one of the largest and most unique marine fish in the world. They are distinguished by their almost round and flat shape, wide and short body, giving them a strange appearance compared to most other fish. Sunfish are commonly found in warm ocean waters around the world, from the Atlantic, Indian and Pacific Oceans. With their enormous size, these fish can weigh up to over 1.00 kilograms and grow to over 3 meters in length. However, what makes sunfish special is not only their size but also their slow lifestyle and habit of rising to the surface to bask in the sun, a behavior that helps them regulate their body temperature and get rid of parasites. Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. Today, we will explore one of the largest and most strange marine fish in the world, the sunfish. Also known as the sunfish. This fish has a very unique shape. Almost round and flat, and can grow to over 1.00 kilograms in size. Sunfish are often found in warm seas around the world and are famous for their habit of rising to the surface to sunbathe. Let's learn more about this special creature and interesting facts about them. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel and share the video so you don't miss out on the next interesting content. Sunfish are not a common target for commercial fishing activities because their meat has no high economic value. And they are also protected in many places due to the risk of extinction. However, sometimes sunfish can be accidentally caught in fishermen's nets when catching other fish. Trawl nets. Sunfish can be caught in bottom trawls or mid-level trawls when fishermen are hunting other fish such as mackerel or tuna. Because sunfish are slow-moving and tend to swim close to the surface, they are easily caught in trawls. Purse seines. These are nets used to capture large schools of fish, especially valuable species such as tuna or mackerel. Sunfish are sometimes caught during trawling because they often swim with other schools of fish. Longline fishing. Sunfish are sometimes accidentally caught in longline fishing, especially when longline fishing is used to catch tuna or swordfish. Although sunfish do not feed directly on bait like other target species, they can become entangled on hooks due to their large fins and slow movement. Because sunfish are vulnerable and not a primary target in the fishing industry, many places have measures in place to release them safely back into the sea if they are accidentally caught in nets. Fishermen often have to remove the nets carefully so as not to harm the fish. Spearfishing for sunfish is rare and uncommon, as the fish is not of high economic value and is often protected in many areas of the world. However, historically and in some coastal cultures, spearfishing was a manual method for hunting large fish, and may have been used to catch sunfish on rare occasions. Spearfishing technique, if used, follows these basic steps. Observation and approach. The fisherman will have to carefully observe the behavior of the sunfish. This species tends to surface to sunbathe, which makes it easy for the hunter to identify and approach them. Fishermen often use small boats to get close without scaring the fish. Piercing. The spearfishing spear is usually a long spear. attached to a rope so that the fish can be pulled back after being thrown. When close enough, the fisherman will throw the spear into the body of the sunfish. However, due to their large size and flat bodies, spearing must be done precisely to avoid causing excessive damage to the fish or making it difficult to pull the fish into the boat. Retrieval: once the spear is successfully thrown, the fisherman will use a rope to pull the fish into the boat. Due to the large size of the sunfish, this process can be very arduous. Often, the assistance of several people is needed to bring the fish onto the boat. However, hunting sunfish is not a popular activity in modern times due to wildlife protection laws and the rarity of this fish. After catching a sunfish by spearing or any other method, the butchering and processing process usually follows these steps. However, butchering sunfish is not common, as the meat of this species is often not of high economic value and they are protected in many places. Because sunfish are so large, they can weigh hundreds of kilograms. So getting them onto a boat requires a lot of effort and may require the use of tools such as winches or tractors. Sunfish are usually kept on the boat or brought to the port for easier processing. When the fish is brought to the processing site, the first step is to clean the entire fish. The thick skin of the sunfish needs to be scraped off to remove impurities and dirt. The sunfish has a very thick and rough skin, so specialized tools such as a large knife or a small saw are needed to cut this skin. After the fish is cleaned, the cutting process begins. Because the body of the sunfish is quite flat and contains a lot of soft tissue, the fisherman or carver will use a large knife to cut it into sections from top to bottom. The meat of the sunfish has a special texture, mostly white meat, and some parts such as the back, belly, and sometimes the muscles near the fins can be used. Depending on the region and culture, some places may use sunfish meat for dishes. However, the meat of this species is often bland and not as popular as other fish species. Sometimes the flesh is dried, or used to prepare traditional dishes. In some countries, other parts of the fish such as the skin, fins, or organs may be used for medicinal or cosmetic purposes. For example, in Japan, sunfish meat is sometimes prepared in special dishes. But this is rare. After the usable parts of the fish have been cut, the rest of the fish is processed. Usually, the inedible parts are discarded, but they can also be recycled as animal feed or fertilizer. Hunting and cutting sunfish is not a common practice and is discouraged in many areas due to environmental and rare animal protection measures. After cutting the sunfish, processing and preservation are the final steps to utilize the harvested meat. Because of the large size and distinct meat texture of the sunfish, careful storage and processing are also required. Cooked, in some countries such as Japan or Korea, sunfish is sometimes prepared in stews, soups, or steamed. However, because the flesh does not have much flavor, it is often combined with strong spices such as ginger, garlic, and soy sauce to enhance the flavor. Sashimi, in some places, sunfish can be eaten raw as sashimi. The meat is cut into thin slices and served with dipping sauces such as soy sauce or wasabi. However, due to food safety regulations, Sashimi from sunfish is not common and must be prepared properly to ensure safety. Drying. Some areas may dry the fish meat for longer preservation. This process usually takes place in places without refrigeration, and the dried product can be used as an ingredient in other dishes. Refrigeration or freezing. If not consumed immediately, sunfish meat will be refrigerated or frozen to keep it fresh longer. Due to the large size of the fish, preservation often requires industrial freezer systems. The meat is cut into small pieces and carefully packaged before being stored in cold storage. Salting. Another traditional method of preservation is salting. Sunfish meat will be salted to extend its shelf life. This process not only helps the meat stay fresh but also adds a rich flavor. In addition to the meat, other parts of the sunfish can also be used for different purposes. Skin and fins. Sunfish skin can be processed to make medicinal or cosmetic products. In some places, the fins and skin are also used to create traditional dishes. Innids. Sunfish innids are sometimes used as raw materials in the cosmetics industry or folk medicine. In some areas, the oil from the liver of this fish is said to have health benefits. Because sunfish are a vulnerable species and are not a major commercial fish, many countries have regulations in place to protect them. Hunting for sunfish is restricted and can result in heavy fines for violating the regulations. While some cultures still enjoy sunfish, conservation efforts are now a top priority to ensure their numbers do not decline. In general, the process of catching and butchering sunfish is a less common and historical process than a modern industrial fishing practice. Conservation efforts are now helping to save this unique species from extinction. You said, harpooning swordfish on a boat. ChatGPT said, ChatGPT, harpooning swordfish is a traditional method that has been practiced for hundreds of years. Especially in areas where swordfish live, such as the Atlantic, Mediterranean, and Pacific Oceans. This is a highly challenging fishing technique that requires skill and experience from the seafarers. Below are the basic steps of the process. Spearfishing from a boat. The boat used to spearfish is usually a small or medium-sized boat with high maneuverability, so that the fisherman can easily approach the fish without scaring them. Modern boats often have a bow pulpit, allowing the hunter to easily see the fish from a higher position. Hunting spear. The spear is a long spear, usually made of steel or other light but durable materials. The front of the spear has a sharp tip to penetrate the thick skin and muscles of the swordfish. A long, strong rope is often attached to the shaft of the spear to hold and pull the fish when it hits. Watching swordfish. Fishermen will patrol the sea areas where swordfish often appear. Swordfish have the habit of swimming close to the surface of the water and can sometimes protrude their characteristic dorsal fin and sword tip above the sea surface. The hunter will observe from a distance, using binoculars or observing with the naked eye to detect signs of fish. Approaching the fish. When the fish is detected, the boat will approach slowly and carefully so as not to scare the fish. Swordfish are fast and powerful swimmers. So approaching him needs to be done precisely. Accurate positioning, the harpooner usually stands at the bow of the boat, holding the harpoon firmly and observing carefully. They must wait for the swordfish to surface long enough and close enough to have a good chance. The main target is usually the middle of the fish, as this is the area where the harpoon can easily penetrate without causing too much damage. Throwing the harpoon. When the fish is within reach, the hunter will throw the harpoon with great force, aiming at the exact location on the fish's body. Throwing the harpoon requires a lot of skill, as swordfish can swim fast and move unpredictably. Winding the rope. After hitting the target, the swordfish will try to struggle and swim away. The hunter will have to quickly grab the rope and hold on tight. Swordfish are very strong and often try to escape, so fishermen need to use good rope control techniques to avoid breaking or losing the fish. After the swordfish is tired, the fisherman will slowly pull the fish closer to the boat. Pulling large fish like swordfish requires strength and patience, sometimes requiring additional support from other members of the boat. Once the fish is pulled close to the boat, the fisherman will use a tow hook or other support tools to lift the fish onto the boat. Large swordfish can weigh up to several hundred kilograms, so getting the fish onto the boat deck is a difficult process. After the fish is pulled onto the boat, the fisherman will kill the fish quickly to avoid the swordfish causing danger with their sharp sword noses. Swordfish can react strongly if not handled carefully. On-site processing, swordfish will usually be pre-cleaned right on the boat before being stored in a cold storage or ice. Swordfish is a valuable fish, so the fish meat is often carefully preserved to keep it fresh. After hunting swordfish, the boat will return to port to sell the fish. Swordfish has high commercial value in the market and is often processed into specialty dishes. Spearfishing is a challenging traditional technique that requires high skills from the hunter. This process not only requires patience but also close coordination between members on the boat to ensure safe and effective hunting. The process of butchering swordfish is a step that requires high technique and meticulousness. Because swordfish are large in size, have complex body structures and high economic value. Below are the main steps in the process of butchering swordfish. Large and sharp knife. Due to the large size of swordfish, butchering requires the use of a specialized knife to ensure precise and neat cuts. The knife must be long and sharp enough to cut through thick skin and dense meat tissue. Gloves and protective gear. Fishermen or carvers often wear cut-resistant gloves to ensure safety when working with large fish. Large table or flat surface. Since swordfish are so large, a flat surface large enough to hold the entire fish is necessary to make cutting easier. After being caught, swordfish will be placed on a large table or flat surface to begin the cutting process. In many places, swordfish are processed right at the dock, while on larger ships, the fish may be cut on board before being stored. Removing the organs. The first step to remove the fish's organs is by cutting open the fish's belly. This is the first step to reduce the weight of the fish and avoid damaging the meat. Cutting off the head and tail. Start the process by cutting off the head and tail of the fish. These are large bony parts that are not used for eating. Skinning. The skin of swordfish is very thick and tough, so it needs to be skinned carefully. Using a large knife, the butcher will cut a line along the fish's body to slowly peel off the entire layer of skin. Filleting, after removing the skin and viscera. The swordfish meat is divided into large fillets. Swordfish have 2 fillets along the main body. Each fillet can be very thick and long. Cut along the muscle fibers, because the swordfish muscle structure is very strong and thick. Butchers often cut along the muscle fibers to keep it fresh and easy to prepare. Swordfish meat is light pink to red, depending on the meat. Fins and bones. The fins and bones are removed or used to make stock. Fertilizer, or recycled. These parts are usually not of high commercial value but can still be used for other purposes. Viscera and special parts. Some parts of the swordfish, such as the liver or stomach, are sometimes kept and used in some specialty dishes in some countries. Chilling or freezing. After being cut into fillets, swordfish meat is immediately preserved by chilling or freezing. Swordfish meat is very susceptible to oxidation, so it needs to be carefully preserved to maintain its freshness and flavor. Packaging. If swordfish is to be exported or marketed, the meat will be carefully packaged, often vacuum sealed or sealed to protect it from bacteria and air. After being cut and packaged, swordfish meat will be distributed to restaurants, seafood markets, or exported to foreign markets. Swordfish meat is highly valued and is often used to make luxury dishes such as swordfish steak, sashimi, or grilled. Butchering swordfish is a process that requires skill and experience from the butchers to ensure that the fish is handled properly and retains its best quality. Swordfish meat is often of high economic value, so the butchering process is done carefully to optimize the use of the fish, from the fillet to other parts such as fins and bones.